Hi and welcome to my channel. In today's video we're going to talk about flashing check engine light. What does it mean and what you can do to diagnose this problem and how the car is reacting to this. So pretty much the car in back of me has a flashing check engine light. So as I'm driving it flashes, I can feel a vibration. I'm going to show you a few things. So first of all, let's go inside the car and let's take a look, and then I'm going to scan it, and there are a few possibilities that you can fix this yourself. It's easy. Some things that you cannot check. We're not gonna go further that road. So let's just check on the minor things, okay? So let's get this video going by starting the car first. Okay, so I took this car for a test drive already, and I noticed how it hesitates and the check engine light flashes. So let's crank this engine up. Okay, right now we are at idle, so it's not gonna flash. Let me just see. So there's the check engine light. It's not gonna flash, but when the car is in motion, you put the car to drive and you start to drive, it's gonna flash, okay? But I did make a small clip. Let me show you that now. Okay, so I got this flashing check engine light, and while I'm driving, it's just flashing. I can feel a vibration in the engine. So what we're gonna look at is we're gonna scan the car. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. But when I took it out for test drive this morning, it started to flash, and I could feel a heavy vibration in the engine and a loss of power. All right, so I'm gonna take it back to the shop and we'll talk about it. So now that you have seen that, I was talking a little bit about it. So let's go under the hood. You're gonna feel a shake in the whole car and the steering, okay? Also, it's gonna feel like the car doesn't have a lot of power like it always did. Also, in the muffler, you will feel the pulse into the exhaust system, okay? You're gonna feel a pulse, okay? And it's gonna stink. It smells like a raw, carbonated smell of unburned fuel. Okay, and once we're under the hood, let me put up this hood. You're gonna feel, this is a 6-cylinder engine, so you're gonna feel a shake. You can see, if you touch it, you feel a vibration. If you have a 4-cylinder engine, definitely you're gonna feel a large vibration. Okay, so I know I worked on this car before, and there was some wires that a rat got to. I did fix a few, and let's see. Usually you'll have a cover like that. So a few things you can have problem with is ignition coils. They will go bad, okay? Also spark plugs. So what you can do is, let's say if you have a cylinder number, this one is misfiring, you can swap the coil to this one, to that one, and swap it back. But however, okay, I know this car had broken wires. I did work on wires. But let's scan the car today. Maybe one of the ignition coils went bad. Okay, so the ones in the back are hard to get to, but these are pretty easy. But let's see what we can discover here. All right, so I hooked up my scan tool and I discovered, it's gonna be hard to see, but it tells me here P0304 cylinder 4 misfire detected. Okay, this is a Toyota Sienna. I hate how this coloring of this scan tool. I'm gonna figure out how to eliminate this white, and just forget about it. All right, so it's hard to see, but there you go. P0304 cylinder 4 misfire. Okay, now that we're in front of the car, we need to figure out which is cylinder number 4. Okay, so I know if you were to stand in back of the engine, which is this, because the belt is always the front. So on any Hondas and Toyotas, if it's a 6-cylinder, number 1 cylinder would be there. But now we need to figure out, is this 2, 3, and then 4 here, or is it 1, 2, 3, 4? It could be any situation here. It could be, but I am gonna figure out that, and we'll go exactly to that one cylinder that's misfiring. So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4. You see how this injector and this injector on this cylinder here, we worked on it before. Maybe this wiring went bad, injector could be bad, it could be a spark plug or the ignition coil. And I did remember replacing this ignition coil. But anyways, let's get to this and we'll figure something out. Okay, so I figured out exactly cylinder 1, 2, 3 would be in the center in the back, 4 is right here, 5 and 6. So we have a smaller issue. You see these wirings? Worked on these before. This is good solid connection there, but you never know what can happen. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is I am gonna first, before I even mess with the wiring, I'm gonna take this coil and I'm gonna move it to cylinder number 2. So let me swap these two and let's see if we have misfire in this cylinder. Okay, so pretty much what we're gonna do is we're gonna disconnect the number 10s. By disconnect, I mean I remove the ignition coil bolt here. A lot of times it could be a bad ignition coil. You can also have oil in the cylinder, so you do need to inspect. The plugs are changed on this car, so I'm not worried about spark plugs. I did complete tune up on this car. But anyways, those two are out of the way. So let's move the harness here of this. Let's move the harness. The connectors are broken. Over times they give up, you know. So let's pull out this ignition coil. And you always want to inspect the boot of the coil, okay? Because it could be a cracked boot and spark plug is just, spark is just bouncing out. And let's get this one out, which is not so easy to remove. Okay, there you go. Okay, I don't see any discolorations here. So, and I don't see any oil inside. And I do see a little bit of corrosion here in this particular cylinder. So let's put this one here. And let's put that one there. We're gonna connect this ignition coil and this ignition coil. Now, either you could do two things: reset the light and wait for it to detect the misfire, or what we can do is we're gonna do a balance test. Pretty much, we're gonna disconnect this coil, and if there's no difference, like the engine is shaking and it's still shaking the same amount, and that's gonna determine that this ignition coil did not make no difference and it has a misfire and it stayed that way. And when we disconnect this one right here, the one we swapped from here to here, because originally we know this coil on this cylinder was misfiring, now we're here, and if we disconnect this and if you see the change in the cylinder, that means definitely this ignition coil has one bad. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fire up the engine. So as we can see, our engine is still misfiring. So the possibilities are ignition coil. Let's see if it makes any difference. So no difference. You see that? No difference at all. Let's take this one off. Oh, there you go. So this is cylinder number 4, originally misfiring. So we have determined our ignition coil has went bad. Okay. What else can go bad? What else can go bad on this engine? If you're having a flashing check engine light. Okay, one more thing that can go bad is your spark plug, because these ignition coils are what giving us a high voltage to the spark plug, so it can create a spark inside the chamber of the cylinder and ignite that fuel and air fuel mixture. Okay, another possibility is that inside here, so let's say if this was originally back in the spot, this little guy can go bad if you have oil inside the bore. So these oil seals, the valve seals will leak and you will have oil here. if you have that, okay, you need to inspect and look in there. Another thing is your spark plugs. I do a lot of spark plug changes, so this is what the spark plug look like. So it could be possible that your spark plug went bad. Okay, it could be the cylinder itself. Then you need to go deep into it, and you need to figure out if you have a good compression in the engine. Okay, another thing is you can have a bad injector. You can have a bad injector due to a clogged up injector that even though it's working, but no fuel is going in there. It could be a broken wire like we previously had it on this car. But anyways, those are the few possibilities that your misfire. Most likely ignition coil. Whenever I get that flashing light, I already know it's a bad ignition coil, okay? So that's how you're gonna fix a misfire. Just determine which ignition coil is bad, and just look at these few things, okay? Just check your swap, do the swap test, and those are the only things that's gonna cause misfire. There could be plenty of other things, like you can have a bad driver in the computer. You can have a bad, like I said, injector, okay? It could be the cylinder itself. It could be the valves. It could be a lot of things, but most reasonable thing that you could do yourself is ignition coil, and that's the deepest I go on a flashing check engine. This is the beginning. After that, it's diagnostic is involved, a lot of time and a lot of money, okay? But anyways, I'm gonna order this ignition coil, and I'm gonna put the ignition coil in. This is a 2009 Sienna. Doesn't matter what your Sienna you have, 6-cylinder, similar procedure, guys. Honda, Toyota, Acura, doesn't matter. Anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. And this video is gonna continue for me to put this ignition coil in. Okay, guys. So I got new ignition coil here. So I am gonna tell you, always buy a good piece. This is a $90 ignition coil, my cost. Okay. If you buy it, it might be like $10-15 more because commercial account. But this is a Toyota Sienna. There's the part number. So these ignition coils are the same. This is a result of a $40 ignition coil, okay? They do go bad. But anyways, brand new coil. Let me cut the pack open. And what we're gonna do is, we're gonna simply just, with one hand, try to cut this guy open. Okay. Always, I will never give you bad information. So this was put in because we couldn't find another one. This is my personal car. But anyways, here's the original piece right here. It has a Denso written on it. Okay, here's the pack. So very simple. We take this ignition coil, make sure this little rubber boot is sitting there. You simply just put this in. I know my car is gonna be good, but we're still gonna do another test with pulling out these wires for the coil, just to determine that we have a good result. Okay, let me leave that out because some of you might think, oh, because you didn't put bolt originally. But anyways, it's okay for this stuff to be here. Let's pop the car on. I don't feel a misfire already. Okay, check this out, guys. So now, if you want, you can put the new coil in and swap it back, but it's okay. I'm gonna leave it here. Anyways, check this out. You see that? There you go, perfect fix. All right, since these connectors are broken, you can always use a top of a silicone. All right, don't forget to put the bolts in, put your cover in. So this is job well done, bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so you can fix your car for about $90 as long as the ignition coil is right up in the front. In the back, it's the same procedure. In the back, it's a little difficult and you cannot do that little test that I did, but there's other ways for me to diagnose this using a scan tool. So I did this without checking the diagram on the scan tool. Even though we pulled out the code, you could have simply come over here, pull these one by one. Okay, I've done that in other videos. You can check out my other videos. Anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like.